Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and welcome to Pointless, the quiz show where the questions have all been put to 100 people before the show, and all our contestants have to do is come up with the answers those 100 people couldn't think of. Let's meet today's players. Now, first up, we welcome Gemma and Steve, our first pair on the show today. Gemma, how do you two know each other?
We're a couple.
And where are you from, Steve?
From Lytham, near
from
Preston.
Lytham. What do you do there, Steve?
I work for an aircraft manufacturer.
An aircraft... How many aircraft manufacturers? I can only think of one.
Messerschmitt.
Yeah, is that?
That's
okay.
one, that's all I got.
Yeah. It's not Messerschmitt, is it, Steve?
No. I put ejection seats and fix them and that sort of thing in
do you?
aircraft, yeah.
Wow. Very good indeed. So you're hands-on, are you? Or are you part of design, or are you...
No, hands-on. Hands-on. We maintain them and arm them up.
OK, very good indeed. Gemma, what do you do?
I'm a general assistant for the local supermarket.
And what do you like to get up to when you're not generally assisting?
I paint. I've sold a few paintings, so...
What's your favourite kind of painting?
The most popular that I've done is people's dead animals. But it's not as bad as it sounds. It's like they've passed on already, and it's more like a commemorative kind of thing, not I actually paint them dead.
That's better than the sort of visual taxidermy that I kind of had you down for there. Steve, what do you like to get up to?
Photography at the moment. I'm just doing a sitting gills in photography.
Would you do it as a kind of career thing, do you think? Or?
I don't know. I don't think I could do weddings to do me head. People being happy and rings and things.
Oh, Steve. Don't tell me you're going to go and photograph people's dead pets.
Yeah.
OK, well, Gemma and Steve, lovely to have you on the show. A warm welcome. Next, we welcome back Pete and Harry. You were on the show last time. Everyone gets 2 chances, of course, to reach the Pointless final. This is your second chance. Remind us, Pete, how you know each other.
We're housemates.
And, Harry, what happened last time?
Motown was my downfall.
It's quite tough, that board, though.
It was, but, yeah, staggering lack of knowledge on anything Motown.
What are your hobbies, Harry?
I quite enjoy board games. All things board or card games.
Favourite card game?
Probably at the moment one called Jungle Speed. We tried out recently. It's a bit of a sort of fast action game. It's basically a complicated snap, but you're reaching for a totem pole in the middle of the table every time someone's got a match.
I dislocated my thumb while playing it last night. So.
Last night?
Last night, yeah.
How long were you playing for last night?
Long enough.
When you should have been revising for Pointless.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, I dare say we will. Listen, Pete and Harry, it's great to have you back on the show, but let's hope we see more of you this time than we did last time. And next, we welcome Paul and David. Now, how do you two know each other?
We work together. We're physios.
You're physiotherapists?
Yes.
Where are you from, David?
We're from Durham in the northeast.
Ah,
so your own country, yeah.
Absolutely, God's own. Now then, Paul, when you're not physiotheraping, what do you like to do?
I like making things. I bake bread and I make chutneys and jams.
Do you chutneys?
Yeah. I've got a jar of chutney here if you would...
You've even brought it... They've even brought it on the show. Normally, people
nice.
come on and they bake cakes and things, and they don't bring cakes.
For future reference, anyone who does come on the show who bakes or anything, it's always good to bring us stuff.
Always good to bake a cake.
Oh, we love a cake, don't we?
Cake. Or chutneys, though. Chutneys, jams, any of these things, but any kind of preserve.
Also...
yes.
There was that guy who worked in the bank.
He came on, didn't bring us any money.
Didn't bring us any money at all.
Very strange. I think he got the message, though, if he comes back, or any of his colleagues come back on the show. Yeah.
And you notice Steve hasn't bought us a plane?
Yeah.
He's got me an ejector seat, though. That's quite good. We'll be... I'll be testing that out later. That'd be fun.
Paul, that's fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. Right. David, what do you like to get up to?
I'm more to sort of keep fit. I don't bake, don't cook. I play five-a-side a couple of times a week. Cycle into Durham from Manchester every day to work and back. So
from
Lanchester.
Lanchester,
not Manchester.
Not Manchester. That would be, that'd be well into keep fit, wouldn't it? Yeah. So what do you hope is going to come up today, David?
My niche is American presidents, American states. I'm quite happy with sort of music, sport.
Very good. Well, lovely to have you on the show, Paul and David. Very, very best of luck to you. And finally, we've got Sally and Jane. Now, how do you two know each other?
My mother and daughter.
And where are you from, Sally?
We're from Ipswich, in Suffolk.
From Ipswich. And what do you do, Sally?
I'm a nurse specialist working at the local hospital.
Very good indeed. And what do you like to get up to in your spare time?
I run a rainbow unit, little rainbow guides, 5 to 7-year-old girls.
Does that leave you much time to get up to other stuff?
I enjoy my football. I'm a season ticket holder at Ipswich Town.
Ah, you know, very good indeed.
There's got to be some of us.
Yeah. So football will be a great category for you if it comes up.
But mainly championship.
Mainly championship. OK. Now, Jane, what do you do?
I'm a student.
You're a student where?
In Norwich at University of East Anglia.
And what are you studying?
I'm studying film and English.
That's just fun, isn't it?
It is fun, yeah.
How far are you through your course?
I've just finished the first year.
Brilliant. Anything you particularly like not to see come up?
I would not like to see sports. I'm not good at sports.
Even Ipswich Town?
Even Ipswich Town.
OK. Well, very, very best of luck to you, Sally and Jane. Lovely to have you on the show. We'll find out more about all of you throughout the show as it goes along. There's only one person left for me to introduce. You are about to witness a masterclass of obscure knowledge. It's my pointless friend. It's Richard.
Hiya. Hello. Hiya. Afternoon.
Yeah, to you.
You know, usually when people say what they want on this show, by and large, if they say something like sport or geography, it often comes up. But we've had two very specific things mentioned already, American presidents and board games. And anyone who can get through the first round, at least, both of those things are going to come up at some point.
Really?
Yeah. Doesn't happen often, does it?
No.
I spent a lovely day at Ipswich Town a couple of seasons ago, and we did a half-time quiz, which my team won, I'm glad to say. But we were looked after by Alan Hunter, the Ipswich Town defender, who's a big fan of the show.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So hello, Alan Hunter, if you're watching.
Thank you. Well, now, all our questions on Pointers have been put to 100 people before the show. In order to get to our final round and be in with a chance of winning our jackpot, our contestants need to find the obscure answers those 100 people couldn't find. Now, the fewer of the 100 people who knew the answer, the fewer points you will score. Now, what everyone's trying to do, of course, is find a pointless answer. That's an answer that none of our 100 people knew. And each time that happens, we will add £250 to the jackpot. Nobody won the jackpot last time, so we add another £1,000 to that. So today's jackpot starts off at £5,250. Right, if everyone's ready, let's play Pointless. In this first round, each of you must give me one answer, and you cannot confer with your partner. Whichever pair has the highest score at the end of the round will be eliminated, so try and make sure that's not you. OK, our first category today is football. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what the question is. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many England World Cup opponents since 1990 as they could. Richard.
We're looking for any national team that England have faced in any World Cup finals from 1990 through to 2010 inclusive. That doesn't include qualifying tournaments, just the World Cup finals themselves. Very, very best of luck.
OK, now then, Gemma and Steve, you all drew lots before the show, and today you are going first. So, Gemma. Yeah. Sport.
Yeah, not great. It's just going to have to be a complete guess. I'm going to say Argentina.
Argentina, says Gemma. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said Argentina. Absolutely right. 31. 31 for Argentina.
Yeah, well played. Gemma played them twice, played them in 98 and 2002. Lost on penalties in 98 after Michael Owen scored that wonderful goal.
Pete.
A couple going through my head, and I think I'm just going to go for a really risky one because I think we played them, which was Paraguay.
Paraguay, says Pete. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many of our 100 said Paraguay. Yes, it's right, Pete. Well done. It's a great answer. Look at that. 4. Very well done indeed.
Well played, Pete. Well remembered. Played them in 2006. England thrashed them 1-0 thanks to an own goal.
David. Now remember, we're looking for any opponents of England in any World Cup since 1990.
I think I'll go for Cameroon.
OK, David is going to say Cameroon. Let's see if it's right. If it is, let's see how many of our 100 said Cameroon. Absolutely right. 16.
Well done, David. That's the quarterfinals of the 1990 World Cup. We've beaten 3-2 in extra time. A couple of goals from Lineker. Oh, that was a great game.
That's when it all came alive, wasn't it? That was
Yeah,
suddenly when 1990 suddenly became, really exciting. Now then, Jane.
Yes.
Jane, a nice obscure England opponent in any World Cup finals game since 1990.
I'm going to have to make a complete guess. I'm going to guess South Africa.
South Africa, says Jane. Let's see if that's right. If it is, let's see how many of our 100 said South Africa. Bad luck, Jane. I'm afraid an incorrect guess, as it turns out. That scores you the maximum of 100 points. Sorry.
Sorry, Jane, perfectly good guess. Last World Cup was in South Africa, of course, but England have only ever played them twice, both times in friendlies. OK, well, we're halfway through the round. Let's take a quick look at the scores as they stand. Pete and Harry looking very strong indeed on 4. Lovely low score there. Then up to 16, where we find David and Paul. 31, Gemma and Steve. And then quite a hike up to 100, where we find Jane and Sally. So, Sally, it's going to need a really, really low-scoring answer from you and a high score from someone else on the next pass to see you through to the next round. So best of luck with that. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, so we are looking for England's World Cup opponents since 1990. Sally.
Yes.
Sally, you are the high scorers by a margin. On 100. We need a brilliant answer from you now, Sally.
I'm not sure I'm going to come up with a brilliant answer. I'm not so great on England. I'm going to say Croatia.
Croatia, says Sally. There's no red line for you, Sally, because you're already the high scorers. Croatia, is it right? How many people said it? No, bad luck, Sally. Another incorrect answer, I'm afraid, which scores you 100 points, takes your total up to 200 points. Richard.
Yeah, sorry, Sally. We have played them in qualifiers, but never in a World Cup finals, I'm afraid.
Now then, Paul. Good news. You are through to the next round, whatever happens. You won't overtake the high score of Sally and Jane. You're on 16. Lovely low score there from David. Can you match it, I wonder?
Absolutely not. Football, not my strong point. I will go for Spain.
Spain, says Paul. Let's see if that's right. If it is, let's see how many people said Spain. No red line, obviously, because you're already through. No, bad luck. An incorrect answer scores you 100 points, takes your total up to 116, Richard.
Yeah, sorry, Paul. Last time we played them in a World Cup was 1982. Played them in the European Championships, though.
Harry. Any England opponents in any World Cup since 1990? A little bit of pressure on you to see if you can do as well as Pete did.
I'm not sure I'm going to quite match that. Again, football's not a strong topic. I'll say Holland.
Holland, says Harry. Again, there's no red line for you, as you are already through. But let's see how many people said Holland. He's right. Wow, 6. There you go. Takes your total up to 10. Lovely, impressive, low score. Richard.
Yeah, we've only ever played them once in a World Cup finals, Holland. That was 1990 in the group stages. A scintillating 0-0 draw. That taught them a lesson.
Yeah.
The Netherlands, of course, we call them, rather than Holland.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the Netherlands, which, of course, I think always sounds a bit funny.
You think it sounds a bit rude, don't you?
Just a bit rude, Netherlands. Netherlands.
It's not like Bumbania or something.
Bumbania.
If you ever founded a country, it would be tempting to call it something rude.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
If I founded a country, I might call it Bumbania.
There you go.
People's Republic of Bumbania.
Now then, Steve, you are through to the next round.
I should know all these. I'll go for Belgium.
OK, well, let's see if Belgium's right, and let's see how many people said Belgium. He's right. Two. Wow. Wowie. Pete, you thought Paraguay was a nice, low-scoring, obscure answer. And then Steve goes for Belgium and scores 2. Look at that. There we are. Scores you 2. It takes your total up to 33. Richard.
Well played, Steve. England beat them in 1990 in the last minute of extra time, that famous David Platt goal, sort of from over his shoulder, if you remember that one. There's 2 pointless answers up here. Very well done at home, if you said either of these. Ecuador, who we played in 2006. and Egypt, who we played in 1990. Won both of those games 1-0 against the mighty Ecuador and Egypt. So only 2 pointless answers, but some other low scorers. 1 point if you said Nigeria, Tunisia or Colombia. All of those very, very good answers. Republic of Ireland only scored 2, as did Slovenia. Trinidad and Tobago would have scored you 3. Those are very much the best answers. Well done if you said any of those. Let's take a look at the most popular answers. These are the ones that most of our 100 people said. Argentina, 31. That's actually the third highest answer of all. We had that from Gemma. Brazil, 41. And who do you think's top? Who wins these things? Germany, absolutely right. Would have scored you 71 points.
Thanks very much, Richard. So at the end of our first round, the pair who'll be leaving us, the pair with the highest score, I'm afraid, Sally and Jane, it's you. Oh, dear. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. See, football, we did you football, Sally. I misunderstood your request, I think.
I knew Germany, but of course, but I thought that'd be too high.
Anyway, listen, the good news is, Sally and Jane, we'll see you again next time, and we'll look forward to that very much indeed. Thanks, meanwhile. Sally and Jane, lovely contestants. But for the remaining 3 pairs, it's now time for round 2. Now, obviously, there's only going to be room for 2 pairs in our head-to-head round, so one of the pairs in front of me now will be leaving us at the end of this round. Well, a very revealing first round it was. Very revealing indeed. Pete and Harry, our returning pair. How's your thumb?
Sore.
Sore?
Very sore, yes.
Who cares? You're the lowest scorers in that round.
Absolutely.
Well, they're the team to beat, everyone. Our category for round 2 is US politics. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, our round 2 question concerns US presidential tickets. US presidential tickets, Richard.
On each pass, I'm going to show you 6 pairs of names. They represent someone who ran for president and vice president together for a US election. We're giving you the surnames. You need to give us the first names of both people in that pair, please. Give us a nice obscure answer, score fewer points. As always, an incorrect answer will be 100 points. It's going to be 12 pairs in all, 12 sets of names to guess at home.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So we are looking for the first names of the candidates on these US presidential tickets. Now, then, our first board looks like this. Obama, Biden, 2008. Nixon, Agnew, 1968. Roosevelt, Truman, 1944. Lincoln, Johnson, 1864. Kerry, Edwards, 2004. Bush, Cheney, 2000. I'll read those one last time. Obama, Biden, 2008. Nixon, Agnew, 1968. Roosevelt, Truman, 1944. Lincoln, Johnson, 1864. Kerry, Edwards, 2004. And Bush, Cheney, 2000. 6 sets of surnames. We need you to provide a set of Christian names, Gemma.
First sport, now politics, thanks. I'm going to go for the bottom one, I think, and say George Bush and Dick Cheney.
OK, you're going to go for George and Dick for Bush and Cheney. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Absolutely right. 42. 42.
Well done, Gemma. The successful Republican ticket in 2000 and once again in 2004 as well.
Now then, Pete.
Yeah, I recognise all the presidents and running candidates, but it's just the guys they ran with. I think I know one, but I think it's too much of a risk. I'm going to go for the top one, which is Barack Obama and Joe Biden.
Barack and Joe, you are submitting for Obama and Biden. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Barack and Joe. Wow, 19.
Yeah, lower than Bush Cheney. Everyone knows Barack Obama, but perhaps Joe Biden, slightly less well known. Joseph Robinette Biden.
Robinette?
Yeah.
Far too few people called Robinette
yeah,
in politics.
Yeah.
Now then, David. If you can fill in all the gaps here, you can mop up for us if you like.
Well, I think it'll be Franklin Roosevelt and Harry S. Truman, and I think it'll be Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Johnson. No, I'll go for Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Johnson.
Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Johnson, says David. Abraham and Andrew. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Absolutely right. Three. Very well done indeed, David.
Yeah, well played, David. You clearly know your stuff. Scores you 3 points. If you'd gone for Roosevelt Truman, you're absolutely right. It is Franklin D. Roosevelt and Harry S. Truman. That would have scored you 4 points. Now, Nixon, it's Richard Nixon, obviously, and his running mate was Spyro Agnew. That would have scored 17, a pretty high score. And actually, the lowest score on the board is one of the recent ones, 2004. Kerry Edwards. Do you know Kerry Edwards?
Is it John Kerry, but I don't know Edwards. No.
Both John Kerry and John Edwards, who ran in 2004. 1 point that would have scored you. Thanks very much, Richard. Now, we're halfway through the round. Let's take a look at the scores as they stand. David and Paul, 3 points to you. Very, very strong indeed. David, you said you'd be good on this, and sure enough, you were. Pete and Harry up on 19, then up to 42, where we find Gemma and Steve. Not miles ahead, but significantly ahead. So, Steve, you are going to be forced into a position where you're going to have to find a low-scoring answer, I suspect. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we're going to put 6 more pairs of presidential candidates on the board, and here we are. We have got Coolidge Dawes, 1924, Kennedy Johnson, 1960, Clinton Gore, 1992, Ford Dole, 1976, McCain Palin, 2008, and Mondale Ferraro, 1984. I'll read those one last time. Coolidge Dawes, 1924, Kennedy Johnson, 1960, Clinton Gore, 1992, Ford Dole, 1976, McCain Palin, 2008, and Mondale Ferraro, 1984. Now, remember, we are looking for the first names of these pairs of presidential and vice presidential candidates. And obviously, you're going to try and find the one you think the fewest of our 100 people knew. Paul, you're on 3. Lovely low score, courtesy of David's answer there in that first pass. The high scorers are Steve and Gemma on 42. If you can score 38 or less, you are through to the next round.
I think I'll go for Gerald Ford and Bob Dole.
Gerald Bob, says Paul, for Ford Dole. Gerald Bob. OK, there is your red line. If you get below that, you are through to the next round. Ford and Dole. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Absolutely right. Very well done, you're through. 8. Lovely job, Paul. That takes your total up to 11. Your total is lower than everyone else's first pass score. Very well done indeed. Richard?
Yeah, Ford was president at the time, of course, but he and Bob Dole lost to Jimmy Carter in that election.
Thanks very much. Now then, Harry, the high scorers remain Steve and Gemma on 42. You're on 19. If you can score 22 or less, you are through to the head-to-head.
Again, I probably know most of the presidents, but the running partners are tripping me up a little bit. I know the two probably more obvious ones, more recent ones. I think I'm going to go with John McCain and Sarah Palin.
John McCain and Sarah Palin. How many people said that? You've done it. 19. 19, Harry, takes your total up to 38. Very, very well done indeed.
Yeah, McCain and Palin obviously lost to Obama and Biden. Sarah Palin, I suspect we haven't seen the last of her, though. She once said she had a special insight into Russian military affairs because she could see Russia from Alaska.
Steve, I have bad news. I'm afraid you are already our high scorers even before you've given your answer. Despite your excellent answer that you're about to give, I'm afraid we will be saying goodbye to you at the end of this round.
Well, the only new couple, I think it's John F. Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson.
OK, you're going to go for John and Lyndon for Kennedy Johnson. No red line for you, I'm afraid, as you were already our high scorers. But let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said that. John and Lyndon. Is right. 13. 13 takes your total up to 55.
Well played, Steve. Kennedy, of course, becoming the youngest president during that election, and then Lyndon B. Johnson took over from him as president on his assassination. Let's take a look at the rest of the board. Now, Clinton and Gore, everyone has ignored. Bill Clinton and Al Gore, of course, would have scored 43 points. A very low scorer down the bottom, Mondale and Ferraro from 1984. It's the first woman to be on a presidential ticket. Walter Mondale and Geraldine Ferraro, 1 point. Now, at the top, Coolidge and Dawes. All sorts of people will know Coolidge's first name, but Dawes makes this a pointless answer. It's Calvin Coolidge and Charles Dawes. So very well done if you said that. Now, Charles Dawes, I suspect, doesn't deserve to be pointless. Firstly, in 1925, he co-won the Nobel Peace Prize, and he's also written a US #1 single. The 1954 single, It's All in the Game, by Tommy Edwards, was the music was written by Charles Dawes, former Vice President and winner of the Nobel Peace Prize.
What was his name again?
Charles Dawes. Charles Dawes.
Charles
Worth
Dawes.
remembering, isn't it?
What about that? Good work, Charles Dawes. Well, thank you very much. So at the end of round 2, the losing pair with the highest score, Steve and Gemma, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, politics finally did for you. Anyway, well, the good news is we'll see you again next time. Steve and Gemma, we'll look forward to that very much. Meanwhile, thanks so much for playing. Thank you. But for the remaining 2 pairs, things are about to get even more exciting now as we enter the head-to-head. Well, congratulations, Pete and Harry, Paul and David. You are now only 1 round away from the final and a chance to play for our jackpot, which currently stands at £5,250. You're now going to go head-to-head, and the first pair to win 2 questions will be playing for that jackpot. The difference is, from here on in, you are allowed to confer. So then, Paul and David, I mean, you asked for sport, you asked for US politics. I don't think we've ever been as bespoke in terms of what we've served up for people before. So, yeah, very, very well done, I have to say, on the strength of that. So, Pete and Harry, so it seems only fair to ask you what you would like for this round.
Well, board games would be nice. That would be,
board games?
That would be nice, yeah, because Harry owns quite a few. So
OK.
That would be good.
Yeah.
OK, how's the thumb? It's all right? Yeah. Ah, I shouldn't have done that. Ah,
that actually really hurt.
Yeah, I think it
I really shouldn't have done that.
No. Very good. Well, you can now obviously pool your resources, so suddenly your strengths are combined. Very, very best of luck to both pairs. Let's play the head-to-head. Here comes your first question, and it concerns games and their boards. Wow, Richard,
yeah, how about that?
Quite weird.
How about that? Yeah, on this question, we're going to show you 5 pictures which show sections of the boards of 5 different games. Can you find the most obscure of these? Very best of luck.
Brilliant. Well, let's reveal our 5 pictures of board games, and here they are. We have got A, B, C, D, and E. So there we are, 5 board games. Now, Pete and Harry, you've played best throughout the show so far, so you get to go first.
We think C is Othello.
C, Othello. Now then, Paul and David, take us through the board.
Well, we think A is solitaire, and we think D is snakes and ladders. What do you think B was?
D, backgammon, I think.
We're not sure if A is a game called Nine Men's Morris. We'll go for A, Nine Men's Morris.
A, Nine Men's Morris. OK, then, Pete and Harry, you have said that C is Othello. Let's see how many people said C was Othello. Oh, no. Bad luck, Pete and Harry. Bad luck. Well, Paul and David, that means you merely have to be correct with your answer, which is that A is Nine Men's Morris. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said it. It's right. It's right. You've won the point. How far down is that going to go? Oh! Very, very, very well done indeed. Paul and David, 1 for Nine Men's Morris. so nearly pointless. That means after one question, Paul and David, you are up 1-0. Richard.
Yeah, that's a terrific answer. You must have played it at some point, I'm presuming. Never played it, just seen it somewhere.
Just seen it somewhere, just...
Yeah. Very, very good. Now, C, it's not Othello. The black and white tiles make it look similar, but it's Go, the popular Japanese game, slightly different rules. That would have scored 4 points. So again, well done if you said that at home. I think we've heard the answers to the rest. B, absolutely, is backgammon. 58 points. They found something that looked suspiciously like a backgammon board in Tutankhamun's tomb. Isn't that amazing? That's how long that's been around. D, of course, is snakes and ladders. That would have scored 91 points. Very big score. And E, as I think both teams knew, is solitaire. And that would have scored 36. So 9 men's Morris, very much the best answer on that board. Well played.
Thank you very much, Richard. So here comes your second question. Pete and Harry, you have to win this question to stay in the game. Best of luck. Our second question concerns Robbie Williams. Robbie Williams. Richard.
Yeah, finally a question that no one has asked for. I'm going to show you 5 clues now to facts about Robbie Williams. Can you give us the most obscure answer? Good luck.
OK, let's reveal our 5 clues to facts about Robbie Williams, and here they are. We have got his first solo album, city of his birth, something stupid duet partner, his wife's first name, and the character he voiced in the 2005 film The Magic Roundabout. I'll read those all one last time. His first solo album, the city of his birth, his duet partner on Something Stupid, his wife's first name, and the name of the character he voiced in 2005's film of The Magic Roundabout. So there we are, 5 clues to facts about Robbie Williams. Now then, Paul and David, you go first this time.
We'll go for his city of his birth, being Stoke.
Stoke. You are saying Stoke, the city of his birth. Now then, Pete and Harry, you can talk us through the board, if you like.
I can't remember which of 2 his first solo album was. It's either Freedom or Life Through a Lens. Something Stupid partner was Nicole Kidman. Wife's first name, not a clue. And I didn't know there was a 2005 roundabout, so I couldn't guess. Guess we're going to have to go for Nicole Kidman.
OK, Nicole Kidman, his duetting partner on Something Stupid. So Paul and David have said Stoke as the city of his birth. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Absolutely right. 29. And Pete and Harry, you have said Nicole Kidman was his duet partner on Something Stupid. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said that. It is right. You have to win this to stay in the game. Will it go below 29? Oh, 42. Which means, after only 2 questions, Paul and David, you are through to the final 2-0. Very well done, Richard.
Yeah, very well played. Now, the name of his first album would have won you the point. What do you think you'd have gone for if you'd been forced?
Probably Freedom.
Freedom was his first single, and Life Through a Lens was the first album. So you knew the name, it would have scored you 3 points. The character he voiced in the film The Magic Roundabout was Dougal. That would have scored you 12. And his wife's first name is Ida. And that would have scored you 5, an American actress. So Life Through a Lens, actually the best answer on that board.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So the losing pair at the end of the head-to-head round, I'm afraid, is Pete and Harry. What an amazing performance you've given us throughout the show today. You were the lowest scorers in every single round. Fantastic low score in the first round as well, particularly. And then we spoiled it all by saying something stupid like Othello. Anyhow, Pete and Harry, it's been great having you on the show. I'm so sorry we say goodbye to you now, but a brilliant, very creditable performance from you today. Pete and Harry, great contestants. Thanks so much for playing. But for Paul and David, it's now time for our pointless final. Well, congratulations, Paul and David. You have fought off all the competition and you have won our coveted Pointless trophy. You now have a chance to win our Pointless jackpot, and at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £5,250. Well, I said you were going to be finalists, and sure enough, you are. It's so easy. A couple from the northeast bringing a jar of chutney. It's all it takes. Now, the rules are very simple. To win that money, all you have to do is find a pointless answer. We haven't had any pointless answers on the show today. You only have to find one now, and you will leave here with that money. Firstly, you've got to choose a category, and you can choose from these 5 options. They are local politics, European authors, the Oscars, artworks, classic sitcoms.
I think we'll go for classic sitcoms. Classic sitcoms.
Classic sitcoms it is. OK, let's find out what the question is. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many recurring actors in Last of the Summer Wine as they could. Richard.
Quite simply, we're looking for the name of any man or woman who's credited by IMDb with appearing in 5 or more episodes of the long-running BBC sitcom Last of the Summer Wine. So any actor or actress who's been in 5 or more episodes of Last of the Summer Wine. Very best of luck.
OK, thanks very much indeed. You now have up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers, and all you need to win that £5,250 is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Are you ready?
Yeah.
OK, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. There they are. Your time starts now.
Do you know any at all?
Yeah, the bloke who was in it didn't have them. Michael Bates. Michael Bates was one.
The girl, the one who played Jane Alexander, who was in.
Yes, she was.
At some point.
What do they call the bloke who was Compo's son, who took over from him? My dad would know all these. Bloke. Oh,
should have brought your dad. See, I don't watch it. Michael Bates, and then you.
Michael Bates, Jane Alexander, and the other was like
ones as well.
Yeah, somebody who's right obscure. What do they call the bloke who played Foggy Dewhurst?
He was in Porridge as well.
Yes.
10 seconds left.
Just have to go for
Jane
that
Alexander.
What about the Noel Batty woman? What do you call her?
Doris
Kathy Staff.
Kathy Staff.
She'll be famous, but...
OK, that's your time up, I'm afraid. We were looking for recurring actors in Last of the Summer Wine. I now need your 3 answers.
We'll go for Michael Bates.
Michael Bates.
Kathy Staff.
Kathy Staff.
Yeah.
Jane Alexander.
Jane Alexander.
And Michael Bates, Kathy Staff, and Jean Alexander. OK, of those 3, which do you think is your best shot at a pointless answer?
Possibly Michael Bates.
Michael Bates, we'll put him last. And your least likely?
Kathy Staff.
Kathy Staff. OK, we'll put her first. OK, let's pop those on the board in that order. And here they are. We have got Kathy Staff, Jean Alexander, and Michael Bates. OK, so we were looking for recurring actors in Last of the Summer Wine. Your first answer, Kathy Staff, you thought was your least likely to be pointless. You only have to find one pointless answer, remember, to win that jackpot of £5,250. So let's see how many people said Kathy Staff. Absolutely right. Kathy Staff taking us down into the 60s, into the 50s. If this goes all the way down to 0, you leave here with £5,250. 25. So unfortunately not a pointless answer. I think you weren't expecting that one to be pointless. That'd have been quite weird, I think, Kathy Staff being pointless. Anyway, only 2 more chances to win today's jackpot of £5,250. Paul, what would you do with 5,250 quid?
I'd be tempted. I like doing up cars, and I quite fancy a VW camper. An old, like, you know, bit of a wreck. Do it up.
Do it up. Very nice indeed. OK, David, how about you?
I'd probably go on a family holiday. Got a daughter going to university soon, so she might take some of that.
Very good. OK, well, very best of luck. You have 2 more answers with which to win that jackpot. We're looking for recurring actors in The Last of the Summer Wine. Let's hope nobody said your next answer, which is Jean Alexander. This has to be right, has to be pointless for you to win that jackpot. So for £5,250, let's see how many people said Jean Alexander. It's right. Kathy Staff took us down to 25. Jean Alexander still taking us down. Down she goes into the teens, into single figures. 6. 6 for Jean Alexander. Now that's more like it. I think we've got a game on our hands here now. OK, Jean Alexander taking us very, very close to pointless there. Only 1 more chance to win today's jackpot, so everything is now riding on Michael Bates. Michael Bates, you had no problem putting him as your last answer. He's your most confident shot, you said, at a pointless answer. This has to be right, has to be pointless for you to win that jackpot of £5,250. Let's find out how many people said Michael Bates. It's absolutely right. Kathy Staff took us to 25. Jean Alexander took us to 6. Michael Bates now taking us down into single figures. Down he goes, still going. Oh, 3. Well, unfortunately, you didn't manage to find that all-important pointless answer, but you do still get to take home our pointless trophy, so very, very well done.
Yeah, again, very good answers, guys. You've been terrific all the way through the show. Let's take a look at some of the pointless ones, and I hope you don't recognise any of them. Well done, anyone at home who said Danny O'Day, who played Eli. Joe Gladwin, who was Wally Batty, Nora Batty's husband. He was in 45 episodes. Josephine Tewson played Miss Davenport, perhaps better known as Elizabeth in Keeping Up Appearances. Juliet Kaplan, who was Pearl in 226 episodes of Last of the Summer Wine. Keith Clifford was Billy, who was in 66. Louis Emmerich, perhaps better known for Brookside. He was a police constable in the show. He was pointless, as was Ken Kitson and Tony Capstick, also police officers. Mike Grady, who plays Barry, was in 161 episodes. Robert Fife, who played Howard, he would have been a pointless answer. And Sarah Thomas, who was Glenda in 215 episodes. Russ Abbott would have been another pointless answer. He joined much later on. But great answers, guys. Very, very unlucky, and hope none of those rang a bell.
Did any of them?
No. I
don't know. Wow, 250 episodes.
Yeah, well, Peter Sallis, who plays Clegg, was in 295 episodes. One of the names you were looking for was Bill Owen's son, who is Tom Owen. He would have scored you 2 points, so wouldn't have been a pointless answer. And Peter Sallis and Bill Owen would have been very much the highest scoring answers in that round.
Wow. Well, unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to you, Paul and David, but it's been brilliant having you on the show. Fantastic appearance. Straight through the game. I'm afraid we only get to see you in one show because you've done so well, but you have been brilliant contestants. Thank you so much for playing. Paul and David. So Paul and David didn't win our jackpot today, which means it rolls over onto the next show when we will be playing for £6,250. Join us then to see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.